David here from Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Akron. I heard on the radio this morning on my way in that the Super Mega Powerball Lotto thing is up to 1.6 billion. Maybe by the time we actually draw the numbers, it's going to be all the way up to 2 billion. That's a nice chunk of change. But it raises a couple of questions about what's in your wallet. If you had that kind of money, what would it do for you? Or maybe better yet, what would it do to you? Jesus tells the story of a woman who's down to her last 2 coins. A widow, he says, which of course means that those 2 coins are probably all that she's got. As he and his disciples are watching, she chooses to put those coins into the temple treasury. She gives them all away. And that makes perfect sense, actually. She, like anybody who's really poor, knows that 2 coins, a half a penny, is in no way going to move you from despair to comfort. So at least she has the joy of giving those coins over to the work of God's people. Rich people, like most of us, can't say the same thing. I like what I have. I like the fact that my money gives me independence and freedom. I'm probably not going to be giving my whole paycheck into the offering plate on Sunday. But it's different if you're poor. I've seen those who have come to church, last dollar in their hand, anxious, ready to give it away, ready to make it count for the work of the church. That's a lot harder for those of us who have wealth. The widow wasn't dependent on her money or her status in life because she didn't have either one of those. She was dependent on God and her neighbor for everything. She didn't have 2 legs to stand on. She had bootstraps to pull up. She was always looking for somebody else. And that's the pearl of great price that Jesus extracts from this particular incident in his life. Here is this person who stands totally before God. And this, Jesus says, is how we are to stand before God too, as those who are totally dependent, without any resource of our own, finally leaning only on the grace and mercy which God freely gives us. So the issue is not so much how much money we have in the bank, but what does that money mean for us? What is that money to us? Is it the source of our security? Is it a source of power? Or can it be a tool for faithful living, for good stewardship? Is it our wealth that we are really dependent on? Or like the widow, can we become those who see that our real source of life and hope and mercy is God? That's a tough thing to do. But the call to live before God in the same way the widow does comes to us from the same Christ who gives himself freely for us to begin with, who already leads us and who already guides us, and as a matter of fact, who walks with us every step of the way. If you're enjoying these videos, I invite you to click the subscribe link below, or check us out on Facebook, or even better yet, come and worship with us on a Sunday morning. We're there at 8:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. and would love to have you be a part of the group. Thanks.